Hi, everyone. Welcome to this week's weekly live immigration attorney chat here at Immigration for Couples. I'm attorney Megan Pastrana. And for those of you who are new to our law firm, welcome. It's great to have you here. I know I had a lot of people joining us even before the show was starting, leaving comments and questions. So I will definitely get to those. I am streaming this live on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram. And so I will answer the questions in the order that I receive them. But before we dive in to all of the questions, I always like to check in with everyone and ask a few questions. So, where are you at in the world? And where are you at in your immigration journey? So, are you just starting out? Are you in the middle of your journey? Or have you already finished? We do have some individuals who like to join for moral support who've actually completed their immigration journeys. And if you're watching this on the replay, please do a hashtag replay and let me know where are you at in your immigration journey and where are you at in the world. So let's see who we have here with us today and where you're at. Okay, we have a lot. Let's see. Anyone want to put in where? Good morning, Sheila. It's great to have you. Yes, and I know that there's some individuals who have questions, and I will definitely get to those. And welcome, Ginger. Welcome back. I love having you here every week. I know you're in the, know you're in the UK. Yes, it's a busy week, and you know what? It's always it's always busy here at Immigration for Couples, but that's a good thing. We've been helping. We haven't even gotten to the end of the month of January. We've had tons of green card approvals, fiance visa approvals, new citizens, removal of conditions approvals, lots of activity this month. So lots of good news for our clients. So we're happy about that. But yes, and it's a busy week as well. All right. There we go. So you're welcome, Samuel. You're in Kazakhstan. Guatemala, welcome. Great to have you. Good morning, Hamid. You are in Pakistan. You're very welcome. It is my pleasure. I love being with all of you. And so, Christina, you're at the very beginning of your immigration journey and looking for an immigration attorney. So you're in the good place, the best place you can be at the start of your immigration journey. It's really good to be in community. So I love seeing all of the comments and then, the conversations that are happening here in the comments is what I mean to say, because it's so important on your immigration journey to know you're not alone. Not only am I an immigration attorney, but I went through an immigration process with my husband years ago. That was really what catapulted me onto my life's journey and work of helping couples and being a guide. So I know how you feel. It definitely feels overwhelming at the beginning, but hopefully you have some peace being here in community and knowing you're not alone. So great having you with us. Okay. Welcome. You're in Ghana. Great. You're in Miami, Florida. Why, thank you. I thought these were so fun. I have lots of heart earrings and lots of heart clothing because my work in the world is love and helping couples. So thank you. All right. Let's see who else. Anna, it's great to have you. I know you join us some weeks, so it's lovely to have you. You're in San Diego, and you're wondering about the incoming presidents of immigration court justices. All right, so yes, we can definitely get into everybody's questions here. I want to go through a few more and see who else we have here. UK, hello to you as well. And you're in Austin. All right. So let's go ahead. And I also want to check on Instagram. We have some individuals who are joining here. All right. So again, it's great to be with all of you. And one final thought before, or comment rather, before we dive into all the questions, I do want those of you who are new, and I know some of you, numerous individuals have said they're just starting out. I want to make sure you're aware of our free resource center at immigrationforcouples.com. The free resource center was created by my team and me with lots of love and care and consideration for all of you. We've gotten a lot of great feedback. We have on our resource center, we have a free relationship evidence guide, downloadable charts that give an overview of the different processes that are available. And I also recorded a webinar that I really encourage you to check out if you're just starting out on your journey, because in the webinar, I really dive into what are the options that are available to couples, what are the eligibility requirements, what you should know, how to prove your relationship, and how to not just thrive, but survive, how to not just survive, but thrive in your immigration journey, how to flip there. All right, so I know we have a lot of questions here. Um, okay, here we go. So we're diving in. So you have a question about tourist visa and marriage. And if I'm going to start reading, I'm going to put my glasses on here. So you are wanting to know if someone with a tourist visa can get married in your home country and travel to the United States and start adjustment of status. I'm really glad you're asking this question. I would say that this is a question that I get almost every week. And it's really, really important. The answer to this question and understanding this is really important. And so I'm so glad you're asking this before doing. So when you have a tourist visa or ESTA, which is a visa waiver program, those types of visas are called non-immigrant visas. What does that mean? That means that you cannot have immigrant intent. And immigrant intent means an intention to come here and live. So tourist visas, when you receive a tourist visa, when you receive ESTA, when you receive a student visa, any kind of non-immigrant visa, you are telling immigration you do not have immigrant intent. You are not coming to the United States with the intention to live. You are coming for a short period of time for a specific purpose. Tourist visa, tourism, vacationing, Disney World, right? Student visas is a non-immigrant visa. You're coming for study. So if you have a non-immigrant visa, you cannot come with the intention to get married and stay and live and file adjustment of status for your green card. I know that that sounds crazy for a lot of couples who are just starting out, because I know that you're asking this question because you've read online that this is the fastest option and you get to be together. So it makes sense that that's, why you're wanting to explore this path, but it's not actually going to be a legally viable option for you to come on this tourist visa, get married, and stay and adjust status. So then what is the option? So the option for couples where you have a US citizen or a lawful permanent resident living in the US who has met someone abroad, options for couples in that situation where you're living in two different countries, one of them being the US, you are in a relationship and you are ready to take the next steps. Typically the paths that are going to be available to you are a spouse visa or a fiance visa. In some cases, there is a special option called a direct file. We've helped a lot of couples with that. But my point is, adjustment of status is typically not going to be an option for you. And what happens if you were to file adjustment of status and do this? Sadly, I've seen many couples who read online that it says, hey, you can get this tourist visa, you come, you get married, you file adjustment of status, then that will be, the best option. And I've seen couples who've tried that, and then they go to their immigration interview and the immigration officer says, hey, you came with this intention on a tourist visa to get married and to stay here. And it's your burden to prove to immigration that wasn't your intention. And if they determine that you were coming with the wrong reasons, that you were coming on that non-immigrant visa with that purpose of staying, then they can deny your case and they can put you in deportation proceedings. There's options to file a waiver, but my point is that it's going to be a very messy situation. So it always breaks my heart when I see couples who come to me who have tried that and are in that sticky situation. And so I'm so glad you're asking this question. I love answering this question to make sure that this information is out there so others don't fall into that common pitfall of immigration. It was a lot of information. I hope that was helpful, but thank you for your question. All right. Let's see who's next. Okay, so Fair, great to have you with us. And you're in Tucson. Your fiance just got here on January 2nd. Congratulations! That's super exciting. Yeah, that's always such a a big milestone, right? So you get that visa. Now you're finally together. So everybody, we're all celebrating you, Fair. And your question is about a social security number. So what we typically advise our clients who come on a fiance visa is to go ahead and request that social security number. Typically, most social security offices require you to make appointments. Some do walk-in, but typically you're going to be taking that visa in a 994 and requesting the social security number. You don't have to. You can request the social security number as part of the green card application process. So that's an option too. The reason that we typically encourage our clients to go and get that social security number after the fiance visa issuance is because it helps to facilitate your life in the US, and it helps you to be able to have things like joint bills and add each, add each other to the lease, be on the same lease. And the social security number is something that we need here in the United States for so many things. Just like those examples I said, having joint bills, like the gas company requires it, the bank, being on the lease. And it's really important to understand this social security number is your number for life, and getting the social security number does not give you work authorization. So I want to make sure that's clear. It's great to have that social security number as soon as possible. It's your number for life. It's your identity document. It facilitates your life in the US, but you do have to wait until you have your work permit or green card to be able to use that social security number in an employment-based capacity. So great question, and congratulations again. That's really exciting. And I see we have some more folks joining us here on Instagram. So welcome. If you have questions, you're welcome to throw those in the comments, and I ask them, or I'll answer them in the order I receive them. And for those of you who are just joining, you'll see at the bottom a banner that we do have a free resource center at immigrationforcouples.com. And our free resource center is very robust. So you'll want to check that out if you're just starting out, or even if you're in the middle of your immigration journey. Okay, so Vivian, looks like you're next. So good morning to you as well. You were married in 2024. Congratulations. So you're still newlyweds while you were on a fiance visa. And then you filed the adjustment of status application. Okay. And so it sounds like you filed it, you mailed it to the wrong place, and you're wanting to know about it being transferred. And you're wanting to know about how long that takes. Yeah, that's unfortunate. That's another common mistake that I see couples make, is if they are doing your own application, you're trying to teach yourself immigration. It's common. That's a common pitfall to fall into, mailing it to the wrong place. Sometimes immigration will send the entire application back to you and have you refile, depending on which address that you sent it to. And then in other situations, immigration will transfer it. Is there a way to expedite that? No, unfortunately, there typically isn't. It sounds promising, though, if they were willing to transfer it and not send the entire application back to you. But okay. Let's see. Sorry, I didn't get to. It looks like some individuals have asked their question multiple times, and so I want to make sure that everybody gets at least one question answered. Um, okay, so I have some individuals who are telling me where you're at in your journey. So you filed your I-130 online. Okay, and how you're going to write your name. So I think you've asked this question last week too, so I want to make sure that I answer it clearly this time. You need to make sure that when you are filling out your applications for immigration, and that goes for everybody, that you are listing your legal name. So your legal name is what you're going to find on your passport and your birth certificate. Sometimes you might have had your name changed. And so you need to make sure that whatever your name is on your legal document, like your passport, is what you're writing on your application. Okay, let's see, what other questions do I have? This is one of the big questions. Here we go. Very long one. So it says that and hi to you as well. You contacted the NVC and the U.S. Embassy in Pakistan regarding your expedite request. Okay. Yeah, and I believe that Hamid, you've asked this question on prior live events, and I know that you have an expedite approved, which is great. And I know that the NVC said the expedite was approved, and it's just a matter of interview scheduling. And really what you're doing is, what I had mentioned are good steps to take: contacting the NVC, contacting the embassy. It's great that you got an expedite approved. And unfortunately, there can still be some waiting, because typically if they're approving an expedite, they're trying to get your interview in during the time when there was a cancellation or when they have an opening, because they are trying to, balance out fairness of getting everyone scheduled along with your expedite. 45 days or 49 days. I know that's a while to wait, but it can take still even a few months after an expedite is approved. But you're doing the right things. contacting the embassy, contacting the MVC, and just following up with them. And hopefully your interview will be scheduled soon. So great question. All right. Okay. So good morning to you as well. You have a question about your girlfriend entering, and so she had some issues then going through customs. It sounds like, but good thing she was able to come. And then her file is registered in San Diego. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you mean. Her file is registered in San Diego. I don't know if you mean that you had filed an application or if you mean her entry shows San Diego. So I'm not entirely clear if you mean like her I-94 or the application. So online, there's an online website for CBP for I-94s, and there's a lot of resources there. And I'm not sure if that's what you have seen, but that's where you're seeing the San Diego. Yes, immigration makes mistakes. Shocker, right? If it's the wrong port of entry, I mean, keep proof of your flight tickets and all of that. Again, that I-94, that CBP website where you can do an I-94 lookup and look up your travel history. You can just Google that I-94 lookup or travel history on the CBP website. And sometimes they have other tools that you can use to request a change if there was an error. So that would be, something to look at. And then if you're just starting out on the immigration process, and I know you said that you would love to have help with your case, we'd be happy to help you. You're welcome to book a consultation. So if you want to know how to get in touch with me, if you're wanting to have a one-on-one private session on Zoom, similar to this, but just you, me, and your girlfriend talking about your immigration case in private, you can book that on the website, immigrationforcouples.com. You can also call the office. That phone number is below, and my team can help get you scheduled with me, and we can talk about your options and next steps. And otherwise, we do have that free resource center as well on the website. You'll see all of the free resources, including that webinar. All right. So great question. Okay. So you're in Nigeria. So hello to you. Thanks for being with us. That I mentioned that some of my clients were approved, and when did they file the petition? So I have had approvals for lots of different case types. I am assuming that maybe you are asking about the spouse visa, because the spouse visa I-130 petition is taking at least 15 months right now. And so we've had some individuals who come onto the lives almost weekly and who have told us that they've been waiting on their I-130 petitions, and most of them have gotten approvals recently as well. And they were saying it's about the 15-month mark. And so that's really what we're seeing for our clients, about 15 months to get that I-130 approval. If you're asking about a fiance visa, we're seeing for the petition approval that it's taking about 8 months. Now, please understand that that's the petition approval. And after the petition is approved, then it does need to go for interview scheduling. And so there's going to be an additional wait time after that. But in general, if you're talking about the petition, that's what we're seeing. Okay, so you just submitted your fiance visa petition in December. So congratulations, that's great. That's a really big milestone. Uh, you would like to understand my take on prenuptial agreements in conjunction with a fiance visa. So so prenups, they're a great idea. Of course, when you enter into a relationship and a marriage, you're thinking forever. And it's always good to plan for any different scenario that can be possible in the future, including, possibly divorce. And so that's what the prenup does is it helps to protect both of you individually, your futures. Of course, your goal is together forever, right? And the prenup just helps you to take into consideration all possibilities of the future, because none of us know what's going to happen, tomorrow. And so I know a lot of couples ask, because there's a lot of rumors out there that you can't get a prenup, that you shouldn't get a prenup, that that's not going to look good for immigration. But the reality is I've actually had a lot of immigration officers say that they think that the prenup is actually a sign of a bona fide relationship. Other officers have a different opinion. The reality is you don't have to submit a copy of your prenup with your application, nor would I do that, nor would I recommend doing that. But if you're thinking about getting a prenup, I think it's a great idea. Definitely prenups are family law based, that's state law. So you would be wanting to talk with a family law attorney who focuses on prenups in the state that you're living. And both of you should have your own attorneys. Some attorneys will represent one of you and give the other individual an idea, like an understanding of what the prenup contains. But because the prenup is so individual specific, you really do each need to have your own attorney reviewing the agreement and making sure it's in your best interest. So I think prenups are great. I think planning for the future in any way that you can, we can't, none of us as human beings can control what happens in life. And so the prenup is a good way to just be prepared. So I hope that that's what you were asking on my take for prenups, but that's my take on prenups. All right. Looks like I have some questions here on Instagram. Those are the only ones that don't pop up on my line of questions. So I always check on all of you here on Instagram and make sure I'm here and I'm looking at your questions as well. So good morning, Jonas. It says, Jonas, you're an Ethiopian and U.S. citizen currently living in Canada since 2008. You have 4 children who were born in Canada. My main concern is how to obtain a U.S. citizenship or green card. Okay, so you're basically asking about U.S. citizenship for your children because you're a dual citizen. You're a citizen of Ethiopia and the U.S. and that you've been living in Canada since 2008. So as a U.S. citizen, your children can derive citizenship from you by blood. So in the U.S., we have by blood that you can give your citizenship, you can transmit your citizenship, or your children can derive citizenship by blood or being born on the soil in the U.S. And that's a whole nother topic. I know that President Trump signed an executive order, and I will be making videos and talking about that because I know I have a lot of questions about birthright citizenship. But in general, to not get too into the weeds, you're asking about citizenship for your children. And so deriving citizenship for children who are born abroad by blood requires you to prove physical presence in the U.S. Your physical presence as the U.S. citizen parent. And is it okay that you're living abroad? Yes. And immigration is going to look at your history of living in the U.S. to see how many years that you have lived in the U.S. and you have to have proof of that. So I know that's why you're asking about tax returns and things like that. It depends on when your children were born and your time in the U.S. So this is definitely the situation where I would want to speak with you and would need to speak with you one-on-one in private so I can understand your immigration history. If you were born a U.S. citizen, if you were naturalized, how much time you spent in the U.S. And then in terms of proving that time in the U.S. is kind of your other question. Typically things like tax returns, employment records, school transcripts, things of that nature. Some individuals, unfortunately, have not lived the requisite amount of time in the United States for their children to derive citizenship, but there are still options for you to petition for your children to have lawful permanent resident status. So that's all something we can definitely talk about in a consultation, but hopefully that gives you kind of a general idea and a 30,000-foot view of that. A great question. All right, we have so many questions coming in. I have a few more minutes. I'll try to get to as many as I can. Okay. And there are some individuals who are asking about like EB-2 and employment-based visas and student visas and asylum. And I just want to be clear that I'm really happy that you're all here. And my firm, Immigration for Couples, we focus exclusively on helping couples and families navigate the family-based immigration process. So that is my zone of joy and genius. And my expertise is not in employment-based or asylum law. So if I'm going over your question, that's why, or if I'm skipping over. Okay, good. And Andrea, you said that was helpful. I'm glad. Okay. Okay, so you are asking about the success rate for applying. I think you mean adjustment of status after coming to the U.S. and getting married on a tourist visa. So Charlie, I don't know if you were here earlier in the show when someone was asking about getting married on a tourist visa. But I would definitely encourage you to go back and watch from the beginning. And I also talk about this in my webinar at the Resource Center, so you could check that out too. But coming to the US, I'll just give you the short version of it. and then you can go back and watch from the beginning of the replay. Coming to the US on a tourist visa or a visa waiver, any kind of non-immigrant visa with the intent to get married and file for adjustment of status is not legally permissible. And it would actually, so it's not allowed. And it would actually cause you a lot of issues. And I've had so many couples come to me after reading online that they could do this, tried to do it, and then they have, a really big mess that we have to help them through. And so I'm glad people are asking this question before they do it, because I would rather be helping you from the beginning to do things in the proper way than trying to fix issues that arise from doing the wrong thing. So, all right, I'm going to try to do 2 more if I can. I have like 2 minutes here. Oh, Sue, that's very nice of you. So you're a former USCIS officer. I'm glad that you find this helpful. It's great to have you here. Let's see who's next. Okay, great. So you just scheduled your IV appointment in the Philippines for a fiance visa, but there was no availability to schedule. I'm not sure if you mean the medical exam. So yeah, and either you mean the medical exam or you mean a fingerprint appointment. But essentially, if you're scheduling, I'll just answer for all of those. So if you're trying to schedule your fiance visa interview, if you're trying to schedule your fingerprint appointment, or if you're trying to schedule a medical exam, and this goes for any country, including the Philippines, sometimes you will get in and you will see that there's no interviews available. So what can you do? Unfortunately, the only answer is you really just have to check every day, different times of day help to find a space that will be available. Sometimes people cancel. Sometimes immigration will open the calendar up for more availability, and then you can go in and once they open, grab it. Sometimes if you can't get it done before your fiance visa, your fingerprint appointment, before your fiance visa interview, you can let the embassy know. But I would say the best advice is to just keep checking for an appointment to become available. Some countries don't require the fingerprint appointment for the fiance visa. Others do. Every US embassy and consulate kind of has their own flavor, but the best advice is check every day, multiple times a day until an appointment becomes available. But good luck. Good luck. Hopefully you get an appointment soon. Okay, good. I'm glad that helped, Hamid. Hopefully you get your interview soon. Okay. So, hi, Maria. And you said that your adjustment of status was delayed the same day it went from step 3 to step 4. They waived the interview. It went from 3 months to 8 months. So are you in trouble? So I'm not sure if your I-130 has been approved or your 485 has been approved, but if you're asking about wait times, if you're looking at the online wait times, they go through a roller coaster. Unfortunately, the online tool is not always the most helpful in terms of giving you an estimate, because it will go through a roller coaster. You'll see it go up and down, typically up. But it doesn't necessarily mean that there's anything wrong. It's just immigration kind of has these internal guideposts of wanting to get the case adjudicated or decided rather in so many months. And then they realize that they're going to need more time. And so that online tool will show that it keeps going up. And is it possible that, for example, that your I-130 petition is approved, but not the 485 adjustment of status? Yes, it's possible that sometimes immigration will approve one and then approve the other one, months later. Sometimes they will call you in for an interview. It sounds like you had your interview waived though, so that's good news. Whether or not you're in trouble, I can't say that there's nothing wrong with your application, because I haven't personally seen it. If you're really, really concerned, definitely schedule a consultation with me, and I'd be happy to speak with you one-on-one about the specifics of your case and background and give you some peace of mind. But otherwise, those are some that is kind of normal to see wait times go up and down and one part of the application approved, but not the other. Okay. All right. Yes, you think prenups are great. Yes. Good morning, Maria. It's great to have you. Okay, so I'll do this as this last question. Then I have a few people that left comments. Okay. So you want to know if you would lose your green card if you get a divorce and you have a conditional green card. So if you have a conditional green card, and so for those of you who aren't familiar with what a conditional green card is, for those who are married less than 2 years at the time that their green card application is approved, the green card will be issued as a conditional 2-year green card. And you will have to file an application in the 90-day window before your 2-year green card expires. And that removal of conditions application requires that you prove, your relationship. Immigration is going to want to see tax returns, joint tax returns, and joint bills, and proof of that love and life together. Now, if a divorce occurs, immigration does have some exceptions for this removal of conditions application. Divorce, death, abuse are among those exceptions. And so if you would have this situation, if either a divorce would occur, definitely talk with an immigration attorney who is an expert in family-based immigration law and has experience with this type of situation. My firm has helped many individuals in this situation to still be able to keep their green card. You still have to prove that relationship was bona fide and basically explain what happened in the marriage that resulted in divorce. But you won't automatically lose your green card, but you do need to take actions to keep your green card to not lose that status. So there are steps that you need to take and file. If that is your situation, I know you asked the question a few times. If that's your situation, please call my office or get on the website immigrationforcouples.com and get on a consultation with me, and we can talk about next steps for you to be able to keep your green card status. Morning, Lisa. You're morning driving again, is what you said. All right. Well, it's great to have you with us. I'm glad that you're able to join us every week wherever you are. You're always doing all kinds of different things. You've been on the beach or having your hair done, so it's great. And I'm sure you're excited about your son proposing and in a wedding planning mode, right? So it's great to have you. All right. And you're welcome. You're welcome, Maria. All right. So I know that there's so many other questions that I wasn't able to get to today. Please, if you're watching this on the replay, do a hashtag replay. Let me know what your questions are. As I've said before, I definitely go through all the questions, and typically your questions are goodness, today feels like a Monday. Words are escaping me. Your questions help me know what it is that you are all needing to know, and I can make videos on those topics. So I do read through all of those. You have a great day as well, Ginger. It was great to be with everyone, and I will be here next week, Tuesday, 11 a.m. Eastern time. We host these live chats every week. So if you have questions, please join us next week. And I hope you all have a fantastic rest of the day and rest of the week, and I'll see you soon. All right. Take care, everyone. Bye.